This video is a review of a form that we created for MacEwan University as part of our Houdini's Challenge session at the Alliance conference this year. This is the form that they had submitted for the conference, an employee action form, and they asked us to focus on automating a transfer action as part of this. This form can be used for a wide variety of things, but in this case they only wanted us to focus on the transfer portion of it. So I'm just going to quickly walk through this. You can see that there are a number of different actions that are typically associated with this form, and you could certainly automate all of these, but since we only had 40 minutes to create this during the session, we focused on their specific request of automating transfer actions. The first section just gathers some basic information about the employee, including employee name, employee ID. So we'll make sure that the form reflects that. Section 2 we don't have to worry about. That's information for a new hire. Section 3 covers job information for the employee. So we'll make sure that we've got a section on our form that captures this information and also pre-populates information that already exists within PeopleSoft. So it'll be easier and faster for the person filling out the form, and certainly more accurate if we can carry that information into the form directly from PeopleSoft. Work schedule information we're not going to be concerned about for this. Same with salary information. But section 6, we will have a segment on our form that captures general ledger account costing in case there are any funding changes associated with this particular transfer action. And then we'll have a section for comments, and we'll configure the form to route accordingly based on the workflow requirements for MacEwan's form. So here's the form that we actually created. Again, we had about 40 minutes during our session to build this live. The form automatically registers within a work center, so it's easy to navigate to and initiate a new form for a user. We're just going to do a general search for all the employees in my department, and I'm going to go ahead and select the one that I want to take action on. I see that the form has automatically populated with quite a bit of information for me. So some information about the employee, as well as their current job and position. I'll just start filling out the fields that I need to. Everything that you're seeing here is configuration based. So we were able to create this as a business analyst, a very powerful, fully functioning form. You'll see here that we're working in the position number field. We've got a prompt that's bringing data in from PeopleSoft, obviously. When we select a different position number for this employee, many of the fields that we have down there in the job information segment have changed now because they're associated with that position number. So they dynamically update based on that relationship. And then as we change values within the employment category, we also have that field linked with the subfield and also with the behavior of the reports to field. So the choices that I'm presented with in the subfield are directly based on the value that I've entered in the employment category. Now I see the reports to field has disappeared because it's not relevant to this particular faculty category. But then when I change that again and select a different value, now I see the reports to field has reappeared because it is relevant. With the smarts that we've incorporated now within the form, we see that it's easier and faster for the user to fill in. It follows our business requirements, and overall it's delivered a very efficient, effective user experience. We'll go ahead and add our comments and then submit. And on this final page now, we can see the approval path that this particular form is going to follow. I'm going to sign out as the initiator and sign back in as a reviewer of the form, and I'll see that the form has a slightly different appearance to a reviewer or an approver, and I've configured that as well. So in this case, when I bring up the form, I access it again through my work center as an approver. If I just click search, it'll bring up a list of the forms in my queue, and I'll select the one that I need to review. I see that this version of the form that I'm seeing is display only, and I could certainly configure that to have some of these fields editable if I want to give the approver that kind of power to edit any of the data, but in this case we'll just make everything display only. And now I see the final workflow. We see the remaining approvers required for our full approval process. And then below, we see the transaction log that shows the action taken by each person that interacts with the form, when they took that action, how long it took them to respond to the form. And then the final step, if we had enough time, would be to set up this particular eForm to automatically update PeopleSoft, which is certainly something that GT eForms is capable of doing with component interface. We didn't have time to do that as part of our session, but hopefully this gives you some good ideas on how you can use GT eForms to automate your business requirements. Within 40 minutes, we were able to create a form with multiple pages, multiple segments on each page, and multiple fields within each segment, set it up to pre-populate information directly from PeopleSoft, and conditionally hide and display certain fields and segments based on our business rules. We also configured workflow routing for approvals and determined how the form should display differently based on who the user was that was interacting with that form. Thanks for watching.